Abusia 2028 NDC presidential candidate ɛho asɛm asa asɔre a ɛnya asɛnketo a nnipa ahodoɔ a anaasɛ mpanifo a ɔmo susu sɛ ɔmo nso pɛ sɛ ɔmo di party n'anim no emu bi ahyɛ ase a ɛyɛ ɔmo yɛ underground campaign saa ɛna amanfoɔ kyerɛ a ɛnya asɛnketo a na yɛn nyinaa yɛnim sɛ Haruna Idrisu ɛstate ne deɛ ankyɛ ɛna owura Julius Debra ɛnso de ɛyɛ ne health work ɛbɛbɔ mu a ni nyinaa no na amanfoɔ kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ campaign ahodoɔ a anaasɛ ɔmo showcase ɔmo ho de akyerɛ amanfoɔ no for 2028 elections ɛno nti ɛna ɔmo starte saa nneɛma no nyinaa na ɛno ɛna Johnson Asiedu Nketiah ɛyɛ ɔno nso ɛde ne 3 days thank you tour bɛbɔ mu a ɔkyerɛ sɛ 2024 elections a NDC kɔɔyɛ no na ɔmo akyɛ ɛyɛ campaign team no mu mmienu yɛ ɔmo a na ɔmo boa secure vote ɛde ama ɛyɛ His Excellency John Dramani Mahama ɛne yɛ maame Jane Nana ɛyɛ vice president ɛna ne yɛwɔ ɔmo nso a ɔmo hwɛ sɛ NDC amanyɔkuo no betumi awie ne ɛyɛ majority seat in parliament enti according to amanfoɔ no ɔmo kyerɛ mu a Johnson Asiedu Nketiah ɛna ɔmo a campaign team na ɔmo hwɛ ɔmo a ɔmo bɛ leadi ɛyɛ campaign for ɛyɛ majority seat in parliament no na Johnson Asiedu Nketiah ɛna da no enti ne thank you to ni nyinaa no ɔkɔ akɔda amanfoɔ ɔmo to ma NDC MPs n'ase sɛ 2028 nso ɔmo nsa nso ɛnyɛ no saa ɛma no na ɛno ɛna amanfoɔ kyerɛ sɛ saa nneɛma wei a Johnson Asiedu Nketiah astate a wɔyɛ ni nyinaa no ɛyɛ for campaign nothing more nothing less campaign nti ɛna all of a sudden Johnson Asiedu Nketiah say ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkɔ thank you to na ɛno ɛna amanfoɔ kyerɛ sɛ ɛyɛ very soon for all this because NDC amanyɔkuo no ba aban mu ɛyɛ 8-9 months mu ani ɛna mpanifo ahodoɔ astate ɛyɛ campaign na ɛbɛyɛ den ɛna His Excellency John Dramani Mahama po atumi afokɔse deliver on the promises a ɔpromise Ghanaians no ɛno akyire ɛna Tony Aidoo a ɔyɛ NDC ni mapa nso aba abɔnten ɛde nsɛm ahodoɔ aba abɛto hɔ no mu a Paul Adomɔkyere areacte ɛwɔ saa nsɛm wei nyinaa nti abusua yɛmbɔ rema yɛnkotie nsɛm ahodoɔ a ɛkɔɔ so ɛwɔ hɔ nyinaa.
Johnson Asiedu Nketiah. Now, my great friend Johnson Asiedu Nketiah has come up for controversy when he set out to do a thank you tour. What is he thanking people for? But this evening I was listening to radio and I got a sense of what he's doing. He has a case, and I'm going to put the case before you viewers. Now, the case that is being made for Johnson Asiedu Nketiah's thank you tour stems from the NDC strategy of 2024. The story is that whereas the president, John Dramani Mahama, and the vice president, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, concentrated on winning votes for the presidential election, there was another team led by the party chairman, Johnson Asiedu Nketiah, that was concentrating on winning many parliamentary seats. The context of this narrative is driving towards the conclusion that Johnson Asiedu Nketiah was responsible for the NDC super two-thirds majority that they have in parliament today, making him a major stakeholder in the future leadership of the party. Those who criticize Asiedu Nketiah say that he is doing this because he wants to take a lead and win a start in the presidential succession race, which he can see that is now getting very tough. It's getting very tough because pollster Musa Dankwa has pulled up a post that does not have Asiedu Nketiah leading. It has Idrisu Haruna, who has actually not said anything publicly about becoming the NDC's leader. It has Idrisu Haruna leading. It has Asiedu Nketiah in a close second. It has Keselato Forsen, finance minister, in a close third. And it has Julius Debra in fourth position. That's what Musa Dankwa's survey brought up. It didn't have Eric Opoku in one of the leading areas because even though we know that our Greek minister Eric Opoku is also eyeing the position. But is it not too early for people eyeing the position in the NDC to do this? It's very early and it's very dangerous. It's dangerous because, viewers, I do not believe that the framers of the 1992 Constitution wanted us to go in this cycle. What cycle am I talking about? There's a cycle in the constitutional development where the president of the state, of the nation, would usually not be running because he has run his full term. He will usually not be running. So when the president is sworn in for his second term, you have the political party and the people who want to come after him juggle around for these things. We saw that in 1996, and J.J. Rawlings had to put a stop to it. In 1997, when Mr. Rawlings took the oath, it was obvious that Mr. Rawlings was not coming back to the position. The juggling started. Guzitano and co started, preparing themselves to become the presidential candidate of the NDC. The people around Professor Mills convinced Fly Lieutenant Rawlings that in 1998, he stated it clearly that the inheritance belongs to the Vice President, Professor J.E.A. Mills. And that settled the matter because it was becoming unbecoming. People were getting concerned about the small pockets of campaigning groups that were being established in the ruling party. But that happens every other election cycle because usually you would have the president go in a second term. If John Mahama was running a second term, there will be no conversations like this. There will be nothing like that. Everyone will know that the president is running a second term. But here's a president who is in a first term like a second term. So whilst Ghana has changed over a president in 2024, we should have been changing over again in 2032 because we would have had a president who is running 2 terms. He may or may not win, but at least he's running 2 terms. So there's focus on the government, there's focus on the economy, there's focus on work. If he loses, he loses. But he's running. So internally, you don't have people with this divisive kind of attitude. Now, we are saddled with a situation where we have elected a president who can do 1 term. So having changed in 2024, Ghana is going to change again in 2028. That means the winner of the 2024 election is not on the ballot for 2028. The winner of the 2020 election was not on the ballot for 2024. And it was hoped that this would be a double cycle, but now we have done it back to back. Certainly, Ghana is the loser. NDC may not be the loser because NDC can win the 2028 elections. But Ghana is the loser because there's very little focus on driving the agenda. And we have had very little focus on driving the agenda between 2020 and 2024. We went into an election. We come to 2025. We are still having very little focus on driving the agenda because those in power are seeking to become presidential candidates. And this time, they are doing it pretty early. Less than 1 year of the new government, and Johnson Asiedu Nketiah is on the road. Julius Debra is on the road. Kesela Tufosin is lacing his boots to hit the road. This is serious for the country, especially when you have the finance minister involved in the ambition. That's very serious. You have key important figures. Asiedu Nketiah is the chairman of GAPOHA, Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority. That's something he should concentrate on. He's also the chairman of the ruling party. He sets out to go on an agenda of thank you tour. And Ras Mubarak says that what is he thanking people for because he was not the candidate? These are some of the photographs from Asiedu Nketiah's thank you tour. It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. That's Johnson Asiedu Nketiah, usually dressed in smock, talking to people in Eastern region and thanking them for voting for the NPP parliamentary candidates. That's what he's saying. He's not thanking them for voting for John Dramani Mahama. He's thanking them for voting for the NDC parliamentary candidates all across the nation. That's an enthusiastic supporter of Johnson Asiedu Nketiah and the NDC. And all of them in there checking it out. There he is. Asiedu Nketiah enjoying embrace and hugs and all of that. You know, you have to love Asiedu Nketiah in terms of his politics. There they are. The Green Army. There they are. So this is the danger of what is happening. This really is a very, very dangerous matter. And it's a danger of what is happening. It is so dangerous that people have even put up Asiedu Nketiah's video, which is an old video, which he did when he was running for chairman. They've put it up and presented it as something that he started doing just now. But that's how the NDC is divided. Ras Mubarak says you can't do that. Other people say, what's Asiedu Nketiah doing? Why is he panicking? Other people say, but Julius Debra is doing it. Finance minister will start rolling out his campaign strategy. Finance minister is the one paying everybody. So it's very likely to have people falling in line according to what he wants them to do in furtherance of his ambition. That's very serious for the country. Are we going to have a government that is running the country until the election year, when we get into election, or are we starting the election today? The New Patriotic Party, the opposition, they are electing their candidates in January. As soon as that candidate is elected, he's going to go full throttle on politics. And the NDC would have to respond to that. Are they going to respond as Asiedu Nketiah's team, Julius Debra's team, Kesela Tufosin's team? Somebody must bring something to order. Somebody must bring something to order. Otherwise, we are going to struggle as a country. NDCs will not struggle, but Ghana will struggle because you have done it in 2024. You're doing it again in 2028 where the government is not concentrating because people are pursuing their own ambition. Self-preservation is the first for every human being. So if I'm a minister and I have to have meetings, but the constituency chairman in Jomoro is calling me, and that's where my vote is, I'd rather go there than have the meeting. And that can jeopardize the development, all this big push and all the fantastic things that President Mahama is announcing. He needs all of these people to come together to work. Are they going to be there to work, or are they seeking for delegates' votes? This is very dangerous. Very, very, very dangerous. And we have to check it and look at it. Now, listen to Dr. Tony Aidoo, who says he doesn't even want to be around to look at the succession of President Mahama. We really don't know why Tony Aidoo said that. Is he saying that it's so ugly he doesn't want to be interested? Is he disappointed with the caliber of people who are running? Is he disappointed with the process? But an NDC stalwart, as powerful as Joseph Anthony Aidoo, former Minister for Defense, says that I'm not interested. I was so sad when I saw the video. Have a look at it.
Whoever is planning to take over from Mahama, a great deal depends upon the outcome of the Mahama administration. If it does well, it inures to the party. And therefore, it creates a wind on which the potential or the prospective person can ride. But I don't know. I don't want to be here. Maybe by the time it comes to that point, I will be gone.
You don't want to see what will happen to the party next?
No.
You don't want to be around to see?
I don't want to. Senna, I'm old though. I try. But I'm old. God has been good to me. But I wouldn't mind if he takes me today.
Oh, but because essentially, I think, would you not at least want to see where the future of the party, you know John Mahama.
All I want to see is live long enough to see the Black Stars qualify for the World Cup and see them play well during the World Cup.
Don't you feel sad listening to Tony Aidoo? He says he doesn't want to be around. But in the same video, which we didn't show you, he says he wants to be around to see the Black Stars qualify for the World Cup and do well. But he doesn't want to be around to see the succession to John Mahama in the NDC. Dr. Tony Aidoo, what is worrying him? What is he worried about? We must go back to him and do an interview. I really feel sad. He's a good friend of mine. I need to go and visit with him and talk to him about politics, which we used to do all the time. We fight. You know, I fight with my left-wing friends all the time. Tony Aidoo is one of the big left-wing brains and left-wing thinkers. He was in Kivas teaching sociology, and he was doing his left-wing things there those days. And when he was a minister, I was frequently in his house at Rage and in his office at Burma Camp. And we talk all night, all day about politics. His biggest moment in politics came in 2008 when I showed up at the office of Flight Lieutenant Rawlings, and Tony Aidoo is a close associate of Rawlings. I showed up at Rawlings' office, and he saw me and said, "Paul, you see your guy lost the election? You see, he lost it by a whisker. I told you that Akufo-Addo was never going to win this election." Tony Aidoo was very, very happy when Professor Mills won. He was delighted. He was over the moon with excitement and joy when I saw him in JJ's office 2-3 days after the results had been declared. He was my guest on Good Evening Ghana on the, I believe that was the 9th of January 2009. 2 days after the swearing in, he was guest with Atacha. I never forget that program. It was a very, very big program. It ran for about 2.5 hours because Atacha was challenging the validity of the Mills election, etc., etc. And Tony Aidoo, who is not a lawyer but was always making very sound legal arguments, was on the show with him. I have to look for that tape and play for you when we open our YouTube channel of some of the old programs of Good Evening Ghana. You can see it. It was a very, very good program. And Tony Aidoo was truly excited by the Mills victory. And he went to Amsterdam as ambassador when Professor John Mahama was president. He came back in 2017, and I'm sure he's been hanging around still then. He lives in a place where I know. I will not say where he lives. And I have to go and visit him. But that's Tony Aidoo. That's Tony Aidoo. Feeling really, really sad. Here's a montage that we are doing for Johnson Asiedu Nketiah, because here on Good Evening Ghana, we support Johnson Asiedu Nketiah for the NDC inheritance. We support him. This is a montage for him. We did it for Johnson Asiedu Nketiah. Different video viewers. I'd like to say something about this photograph. Okay. Now, the reason why, I'm going to show you the reason why Europe, it's democracy. America is democracy. It's slightly different from Ghana. There are a few African countries, South Africa, that's good. These are two gentlemen. A black one was struggling on the show last night. I'll show you the video. But these are two gentlemen seated. On the right is the journalist asking the questions. On the left is the powerful politician, Asiedu Nketiah, the foreign minister. But here's the catch. These two gentlemen are mates from Presec. They were sat in the same class. They are mates. So when Bernard Avila is interviewing Nketiah, he has no qualms, he has no fears, he has no embarrassment, he has no hesitations. And in that spirit, Ghana will get its due out of the minister. In that spirit, the minister is careful to answer the questions in a certain way because they belong to the same social class. They belong to the same academic background. They came from the same school. The difference, and that is why we are struggling, we have a problem in democracy if this one has to remunerate this one. Then we have a problem. It's okay for us to have them on the same level. That's an improvement. We didn't used to have that in the past. Now we are getting quite a bit of that. So it's improvement. The next level of improvement is that this one should not be able to remunerate this one. This one should earn as much as this one. That's where it settles it. And that's why you find in the advanced democracies, they protect journalism. They don't allow all of us to become journalists. They protect it. So you will see that it's okay to be a journalist and become a politician in England. That's fine. Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, he was editor of the Daily Mail. But all the time he edited the Daily Mail, he was a conservative. He's been a conservative forever. I don't like to use myself as an example. Like me, I've been right-wing forever. So you shouldn't be surprised if you find me in a right-wing government tomorrow. It's okay because I've been right-wing, defending right-wing policy for a long time. There are journalists who are left-wing. But whilst at journalism, that's